Good evening and welcome back to Let's Play Life is Strange. When we left off last time, we went through some weird nightmare sequence, or maybe it was like a breakdown Max had. I don't know if that was supposed to be like a crashing of multiple realities type of thing, or if that was just all in her head. I'm thinking all in her head. Most of it seemed to be a lot of her feeling really guilty about the possible consequences of all the changes she's done, and she's feeling really helpless overall. She keeps trying to change things. She's trying to help. She's trying to make things better, but there's always these consequences she doesn't intend. So, now we're battling through the storm here at the lighthouse. Do you know what? I actually do want to take a minute. Yeah, and go through this journal. Alright. So we were at the Vortex Club. So, October 11th, I guess. I watched Chloe die again. Killed by my favorite teacher. Why? Because we were stupid and let Jefferson trick us with the phony text. So we ended up back at the junkyard, and I fell right into his trap. We should have called the police the second we found Rachel. Yes, you really should have. But I had gone along too far with Chloe. I keep thinking I'm invincible, that I'm a real everyday superhero. But no, I'm just Max Caulfield. Maybe all my powers are an accident of fate. Or am I being punished like Chloe? What have we done to deserve all this pain? What did Rachel do? Kate? William? Then there's Mark Jefferson. I can't ever call him Mr. again. I'm still shocked that he turned out to be the one hiding behind the darkroom. But if I think back on those pieces of time Jefferson has been dropping hints all along, it makes me sick to think how long he's been doing this for, and to whom. The needle. I can still feel that needle on my skin. Thank God I can't remember Jefferson posing me for most of his sick session. Imagine all those other people who had to suffer through that horror, like Rachel and Kate. That made me determined to get out of that room, at least to stop him and save Chloe. I had to use my focus rewind on multiple photos so often that even I got confused. Worse still, I knew I was screwing around with various realities again, but I had no other choice. Chloe would not die in a junkyard next to Rachel Lambert, and there was no fucking way I was going to let Jefferson be the last person I ever saw. It's hard to even imagine myself in that studio alone with Jefferson acting like that. Everything was so neat and sterile, but it felt like the filthiest place on earth. If I didn't have this ability to bend time, what would I have done? What could I have done? Sometimes I felt removed, like I was looking at myself going through this hell, but thanks to Jefferson's class photo, he personally helped me to escape. I also feel so terrible that Victoria had to end up in here with me, just because I warned her about Nathan. I should have known that she would rush to Jefferson for protection. Instead, he kidnapped her and almost murdered her, because of me. That is a choice I feel really terrible about, like in hindsight, because at the time it felt like, well, this is totally the right thing to do. Even though we don't really like Victoria, when I was convinced Nathan was the bad guy, it's like, well, I can't just let him do this to her, so we gotta help her out. And, oh, what a cruel twist of fate. I'll never forget the way Jefferson looked at me, so cold and mean. I felt like I was on one of those awful true crime shows my mom binge watches. I like to watch those sometimes, too. How does somebody become evil? He actually shot Chloe in the head, just like that. Motherfucker. I wish the police had taken Nathan in after I told Principal Wells that he drugged Kate. He might still be alive, and maybe he would have taken down Jefferson, too. Which is an interesting thought, that maybe if someone actually had been more serious with Nathan and there had been consequences, if the police had taken custody of him, and maybe that for him to a degree might have felt like taking back control of his life to confide in the police Jefferson's role in all of it. You know, I imagine he might also be looking at it, as some kind of sort of like plea bargain opportunity, well, I'll rat out this guy and maybe lessen the consequences to myself, but I don't know. That would have been interesting to see how that would have gone down. I can't believe I was able to focus and rewind into my selfie all the way back to art class on Monday. I turned in my photo for the contest after I sent a text to David warning him about Jefferson. Whew. The only reason I haven't had a total meltdown is the fact that I do have this incredible power. I have to use it right for once. Maybe never again. It was weird to be in class with Jefferson, like I wasn't just tortured by him in an underground bunker. I saw him for the first time as he is, a creepy, manipulative psychopath filled with bullshit. He uses art and passion to seduce people, but behind that there's nothing but hate and perversion. I only pray that I can fix this timeline, not fuck it up. Max to the future. It feels like I finally made things right. Chloe is alive. David Madsen became a real everyday hero by busting Jefferson in his darkroom, along with Nathan and his father. The Prescotts have lost control of Arcadia Bay. Now I'm the official everyday hero on my way to San Francisco with Principal Wells, who is a lot more funny and laid back when he's not stressing about Blackwell Academy. It's hard for me to totally relax, but all those pieces of time seem to be falling into place. Except it didn't work out. Sorry, Max. Oh, I forgot how to say this word already. Zeitgeist. Anyhow, that gallery was a trip. Why does somebody so shy like me want to be famous for her photographs? And yes, I know that's a word that people use, and it's like a thing, and I should know how to say it, but I don't know. Some words just don't stick in my head. I don't care about people kissing my ass. I just want to hang out with great artists and learn from them. It was so sweet that my work was displayed in a respected gallery, and I got to experience that public response. But I'm not a fan of the spotlight. That Berkeley reporter made me feel like I wouldn't even know what to say. Oh yes, this selfie represents my soul. I'd tear up my own pictures if I ever talked like that. But it was so nice just to have a safe, peaceful moment for myself, where my dreams came true instead of my nightmares. I had a real vision of my future and who I wanted to be, so I won't feel bad about rewinding time once again to destroy my contest photo. Which is a good point. She saw that she's got the skill, she's got the capability. Yeah, she had to change things so she doesn't win the contest, and it would have been a nice boost to her career, but she can still make it without it. The storm is still coming to Arcadia Bay, which means Chloe's life is still in danger. No prize or exhibition is worth losing her again. At least I can use my picture for a truly important reason and yet again try to fix the machineries of time that I keep breaking. So I did it, back in my room again, erasing another timeline. Or does that reality go on without me? Which is an excellent question. Am I just creating knots in time? My biggest fear is that I won't be able to rewind when I most need to, or even remember what I've done. So if the other timeline does continue without her, does that mean there's multiple timelines where her interference has caused that Max's Chloe to be killed? And my head does feel like it's going to burst if I keep on doing this. My nosebleeds are a bad omen. Yet I'm here. I can rip up my contest photo and still warn David about Jefferson. It just means I won't be going to San Francisco. Yet. And I have to protect Chloe from one storm. I knew things were going too easy, and I messed it all up, as usual. Jefferson was pissed that I had torn up my contest photo, freaking out about my wasted talent. Bastard torched my diary, so I couldn't even rewind using my art class selfie. So my whole plan took a shit, and I couldn't text David about Jefferson, which is how I ended up back in this evil dark room after I thought I had escaped. The worst thing was seeing that Victoria was gone and knowing that Jefferson had already killed her, all because of me. I've never felt so helpless and hopeless in my life. It made me even more determined to rewind time and save Victoria as well. Amazingly, it was David Madsen who turned up to save me. Thanks to his own surveillance, he was almost Jefferson's shadow and tracked him down to the farmhouse. I was able to use my rewind for good and actually help David battle Jefferson. I do know that the only way I can save Chloe now is to get that picture that Warren took of us in the parking lot. I just hope he's okay in this storm. Finally, I didn't tell David about Chloe. I couldn't. He might have killed Jefferson. He would have killed Jefferson. For the first time since my visions, I was able to see the storm manifest in this reality. When I felt the sharp wind from the tornado, everything became more desperate. I was so relieved to get a hold of Warren, but he's definitely trapped in the Two Whales diner with the photo. Yes, this looks like a job for Supermax. I borrowed Jefferson's car to haul ass and found that Nathan left me a sad voicemail. He only wanted to warn me to not be blamed for Rachel, but Jefferson wouldn't forgive him. Okay, and it was a sad voicemail, and I do feel a degree of pity for Nathan, but he totally killed Rachel, guys. I know it was an accident. He overdosed her without meaning to, but he did mean to take her against her will and do these creepy photos of her. And yes, he was a mentally unstable child, desperately seeking some sort of parental affirmation under the influence of this older kind of father figure photographer that he found in Jefferson, but doesn't excuse it. He's still a pretty dangerous fella too. I don't know, it just makes him more of a sad kind of dangerous fella instead of just like easy to hate person like Jefferson. Apocalypse Arcadia Bay. I've never felt the raw force of nature, but this storm is ground zero. My town is being destroyed, and I'm so furious that I didn't pay more attention to my visions. I could have warned and saved so many people, instead of watching them die around me. Okay, and for some reason it's just now clicking that that's why she keeps feeling like she's failed so much. Because she's on this kick now that, like, all she ever does with her power is make things even worse. And I thought, well, there's been some mistakes along the way, but the big thing is saving Chloe, right? And Chloe's alive. But no, there is also the fact that way back on Monday, she saw this vision of the tornado coming. She knew it was coming, and she didn't really do much to save the town because she's been so focused on trying to save Chloe. Oh, I hope it doesn't come down to a choice between the town or Chloe. I decided I needed to fulfill my destiny, whatever that was, and use my powers for good, and more importantly, to not be afraid. There was no more time for fear, so I barely made it to town and helped as much as I could, until I had to rewind to stop a raging fire from blowing up the diner. At least I was able to do something. I almost cried when I saw Joyce and Warren, even though they were scared, but they're strong and helped everybody in the diner, including Frank, who I was glad to see alive. I'm glad Warren is such a good friend. Considering how insane my life has been this week, kissing Chloe instead of him didn't seem that strange. It felt like Chloe and I were flipping off the cruel universe, and if I was going to die, I wanted one kiss from my best friend. That seems like an odd thing to write in there. Kissing Chloe instead of him. So those were my options? I had to kiss one or the other? Yeah, I support the Chloe choice. The main thing was that I had Warren's photo and I would get one last chance to save Chloe. I felt queasy considering what a mess I've made, but there was no going back anymore. Warren rules. I was able to rewind to the end of the world party and with his photo and felt like I was getting more confident with my time travel skills. It's always hard to deal with Chloe when only I have the benefit of knowing her future. But the one thing Chloe appreciates the most is honesty, so I told her everything, from when she was paralyzed to the dark room to San Francisco. She didn't want to believe that David was so heroic, but she knows I wouldn't lie, and I could tell Chloe felt awful for what Jefferson did to me. Chloe is back. I didn't even care that this was the real end of the world. It just felt so good to hold her again after everything we'd been through. I thought about all the timelines I'd jumped through for her and how much she's always meant to me. Our lives have always been entwined. How could this not be some kind of fate or destiny? Even though we're opposites in so many ways, we're also so alike. We'll always be pirates in spirit, and we'll always want to take on the world. It sounds so stupid to say that she's my hero, but if not her, who else? Sometimes Chloe and I feel like yin and yang. Who knows, maybe we're here to give each other strength, or more. There is nothing like the sense of relief after waking up from a vivid nightmare. Despite all the terrible things that had been happening this past week, I felt so free and hopeful when I finally woke up. And my nightmare was so obvious. All my fears about being an artist, about my rewind power, and, of course, about my partner in crime and time, Chloe Price. We've been through so much together, and we might go through more depending on how this all ends, either in heaven or hella. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Okay, so this seems like confirmation that it was a nightmare sequence that we went through. Chloe is more than my best friend, but who knows how she really sees me. Oh, she did dare me to kiss her, but she seems surprised that I actually did. I am too, but I don't regret it for a second. Maybe that's why I hated watching Chloe being so cruel in the nightmare, calling me names and flirting with all those people. I was surprised that it was like a physical pain in my heart. Is that the power of friendship or love? I believe you're about to find out, Max Caulfield. Romance at the end of the world. I just have to point out, because I played Gone Home, and I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who's not seen Gone Home, but there is a running part in it where one of the characters writes stories about pirates, this pirate and her first mate, and I don't know, there's kind of the whole pirate theme again here, that they just kind of remind me of each other, so that's kind of neat. Alright. What have we got here? Something new from Warren, something new from Nathan. Warren, this is worse than you think. Delivery failure. Warren, if you get this message, please tell everyone to take shelter ASAP. Not getting through. And Nathan. Oh, great. Get ready to fucking die, bitches. You fuck up my dorm door, I kill your scholarship. Get ready to again. Okay, so, yep. Okay, so he's here and he's nuts, huh? Alright, let's see what we got going on.
Max,
that was a lot of ketchup.
Max, can you hear me? Please say something.
Chloe? I must have passed out.
Oh, thank God. Don't you ever do that again, okay?
I swear. But that nightmare was so real. Was so horrible.
Alright, ladies, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do here. How do you stop something like that?
This is my storm. I caused this. I caused all of this.
You don't know that for sure.
I changed fate and destiny so much that I actually did alter the course of everything. And all I really created was just death and destruction.
Fuck all that, okay? You were given a power. You didn't ask for it. And you saved me. Which had to happen. All of this did. Except for what happened to Rachel. But without your power, we wouldn't have found her. Okay, so you're not the goddamn Time Master, but you're Maxine Caulfield. And you're amazing. Max. This is the only way.
Wait, What do you mean?
I feel like I took the shot 1,000 years ago.
You could use that photo to change everything right back to when you took that picture. All that would take is for me to...
No, I'm not gonna let you die. There's gotta be another way.
No, no way. You are my #1 priority now. You are all that matters to me.
And we don't know that for sure.
I know.
Letting you die will fix everything.
You prove that over and over again, even though I don't deserve it.
But mostly I just don't want to believe that, because it does seem kind of like that's when the power first manifested. And that day is when we first got the vision, so it probably is tied together, but... So if I get a choice, Chloe versus the fate of Arcadia Bay, and we're here anyhow, likely to get killed by this thing. This is a thing that objectively I could say, well, obviously, the fate of many is more important than the fate of one. But when that one is someone who's important to you, how can you make that decision in the moment? I think I'll choose Chloe and be stubborn and see if we can make it work out and deal with the consequences if we can't.
I'm so selfish. Not like my mom. Look what she had to give up and live through. And she did. She deserves so much more than to be killed by a storm in a fucking diner. Even my stepfather deserves her alive. There's so many more people in Arcadia Bay who should live. Way more than me.
Don't say that. I won't trade you.
You're not trading me. Maybe you've just been delaying my real destiny. Look at how many times I've almost died or actually died around you.
It does kind of somewhat feel that way.
Bay ever since you first saved me. I know I've been selfish, but for once, I think I should accept my fate. Our fate.
Chloe!
Max, you finally came back to me this week, and you did nothing but show me your love and friendship. You made me smile and laugh like I haven't done in years. Wherever I end up after this, in whatever reality, all those moments between us were real, and they'll always be ours. No matter what you choose, I know you'll make the right decision.
Chloe, I can't make this choice.
No, Max.
You have to.
You're the only one who can.
But the choice I make, Max, is we keep Chloe. Yeah, I am going to sacrifice a city for my friend. And then possibly the storm will kill the two of us anyhow. And that's stupid, but I can't... I know that it's the wrong choice. I know that if I step away from the situation, I know that the lives of many are more important than the life of one. I know it. But I can't do it. I can't do it in the moment because I'm invested in Chloe. I like Chloe, and I can't kill her. I have to cling to the hope that we'll find some other way to make things okay. And also, and this is just kind of a weak justification, but when she said, oh, my mom deserves more than to die in this diner. Well, your mom, I think if your mom was able to make the choice, do I die in the diner in a storm, or does my daughter die shot at Blackwell Academy? She'd rather die in the storm. I'd rather die than my kids die. So, yeah, I'm going to make the incredibly selfish, bad person choice. Sorry, Arcadia Bay.
Max, it's time.
Not anymore.
I know that's incredibly selfish and the wrong thing to do, but it's just what I'm feeling. I can't.
Max, I'll always be with you. Forever.
I'm gonna have to look and see what happens if you sacrifice Chloe instead. I want to know how it turns out, but this is the choice for me. If I really were Max and I were in this situation, I know I couldn't sacrifice someone I love, even to save a city. And I know that's really bad, but, well, that's just what it is. Oh boy. Yeah, there's probably a lot of people dead after that. Oh, that's the end of Pan Estates, eh? Maybe. Oh, they're deer again. So, oh, a bunch of them. So does this mean Warren and Frank possibly, maybe probably died as well? Well, our girls made it through. That's something. Alright, I guess we look for survivors now. Help where we can. She's of course going to always feel bad about this decision, but she was going to feel bad about it either way. Oh, ouch, and that's the end. Oh, that, and it doesn't give you any kind of tie up of like if anybody's gonna be okay, or who all was killed in the storm or not. That's rough. Oh, that's really rough. Oof. All right. Okay, so that was Life is Strange. That was pretty fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and see what happens if I choose the other way. Wow. Sorry. Trying to process that. That was... It's so abrupt. It's I don't... It's not bad. It's not like it's abrupt like, what? That's the end? It's more abrupt like, ouch. They're really kind of... I feel like they're sort of pounding home the consequence of the choice I made. Like, yep, that's the end. You decided to sacrifice the city, so drive through the ruins of it. You did this. You chose it. Oof. But I'm still... And this is... I really did enjoy this game a whole lot overall. I really did. But I gotta put in a little nitpick here. I'm so bummed that we didn't get to save Rachel Amber. Oh my god, I wanted to save Rachel. I wanted there to be something where, like, she had maybe time powers as well, and she'd create a situation and Max needed to save her, and like in some alternate reality we'd be able to meet together, and it would be Max and Rachel and Chloe solving all, and... I really wanted to find a way to save her. I mean, from the beginning, you see the pictures, and I thought, okay, she's missing. She's probably dead. But Max has the rewind, so but we didn't get to save her. Man. That's gonna bother me. Well, we saved Chloe at least. At the cost of a whole lot of other people. I don't know, I think it's kind of it's a hard choice, and I kind of like that they make that the final choice, that there's no obvious, well, I mean, there is an obvious right answer, and that's to save the town, but it's extremely difficult to do. So I think it seems like the choice that, I don't know, I'm kind of wondering if there's going to be a lot of controversy. I could see some people being very upset that I chose, not anyone in particular, I'm just saying in general. There'd be people who would be very upset that I chose to sacrifice a town for one person. A part of me is upset that I made that choice, because I know that that's objectively the wrong choice. I let selfishness and emotion guide my choice. And I don't regret that. I don't. But, I don't know, it's kind of a rough thing to be faced with, to sort of have to recognize about yourself that you're not the pragmatic, selfless person, or I'm not, that would be able to help the greater good in this sort of situation. That my own feelings would rule. It's not a good thing. But I suppose Max and Chloe can try and make the most of this. Do everything they can with their lives to make the sacrifice of others mean something. You know, it's not something that you could ever, like, fully justify. Like, nothing they do is going to be incredible enough to make it like, oh yeah, it was totally worth those people dying. That's that kind of thing you can't really do. But I don't think they should live the rest of their, I don't know. I think that they should just accept that this happened and it really sucked, but this is the choice that was made, and now it's time to go forward and make it worth something. So, I don't know, in some ways maybe that will actually assist Max in her photography career, because she's got a motivation now. She knows she has the ability to do well, and now she's got a motivation to ensure that she does well, that she accomplishes something with that, you know. She can at least give that to the world. And then maybe it'll help Chloe as well to tone down some of her wildness, or channel it in some sort of constructive direction. Yeah, there's a part of me that wants to argue and say, well, you know, letting Chloe die wouldn't necessarily mean no storm, but I have a feeling that it probably really, really would. They get, like they pointed out, in all the realities, Chloe kept dying. It's kind of like, you know, maybe it's meant to be that she dies. Yeah, I have a feeling it probably is a trade-off. So, yeah, I'll have to look that up. I'll have to go back and see. But, and even if I know for sure, would that affect my choice? If I know for sure that if I sacrifice Chloe, it saves the town? I don't know. I can't say without knowing how things shake out for people individually. Like, I'd need to see a bunch of different people and how they're affected by Chloe dying. Like, does Jefferson get caught if Chloe dies? Because if he doesn't, then I don't know. Maybe I'm better with leaving things as they went and Chloe survives, you know? Alright. Yeah, that was a pretty fantastic game. I quite enjoyed that. Well, you decided to sacrifice. Yeah, slightly... see, this was a tough choice. A lot of people were divided, but, yeah. It's probably a good thing that 54% of people can say, hey, a town is more important than one person. Let's see. Oh, I could have avoided David getting a scar during the fight. Oh well. Didn't kill Jefferson, about half and half. Most of it, only 4% of people managed to not give him a scar. Okay, saved the trucker. Well, majority of us did. Because if you can, you know, why wouldn't you? Saved Evan. I could have saved Alyssa? Oh no, I didn't save Alyssa? Crap. That I do feel really bad about. I like Alyssa. Saved the fisherman. I chose the wrong conversation option. I did want to help Joyce believe in David again. Sorry, Joyce. Told the truth about Rachel to Frank. Yep, it felt like the right choice. 68% kissed Warren? Really, guys? But she's been so... At first, she was all saying she only wanted to be friends with him, and then she's been kind of ambiguous about him all along. It didn't... And then he had Brooke coming in, like, why? No, don't kiss Warren. A friendly hug. That's good enough. All right. And that's all of it. So, that was Life is Strange. Pretty fantastic game. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wind the episode down here. If you've liked this, enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Head on back to my channel. There's a whole bunch of other games that you can check out, lots of other Let's Plays, and keep an eye out. There'll be more to come.